Welcome back. This is Kate with Kate's Paper Creations, and today is Casing the Catalog Day, and I am going to be bringing you the card from page 98 of your catalog. This is the new Stampin' Up! 2021-2022 annual catalog. It just came out this month and full of all kinds of wonderful, excuse me, and fun things to do. And I am looking at this particular stamp set right here, actually the bundle called Color and Contour Bundle. And let me bring this in. It shows you what is in the set. These are the stamps. And then it's got all of these dies. I'll open it up so you can see them as well. And I will explain, sometimes people wonder where my covers come from. I make my own covers for my stamp sets. This is the color for this particular catalog. Everything I order out of this catalog will have this particular color on the spine, and so I know what is on my shelf that is new. And when I make these new covers, I put down here the number, the catalog it came out of, the page it's found on, and its cost, and what it coordinates with, and so on. And so when I use these in workshops, I can pass this around and people can get all their information right here. They don't have to go hunt for it in their catalog unless they particularly want to. And in that case, the page number is right there so they can find it. So that's what I do. That's part of my organization bent. As long as you wonder. Okay, just in case you wondered. So this is the set I'm going to be doing, and I am casing this card right here. And let's get started. It starts with a standard basic white thick card base, 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. That's getting to be probably a little boring for some of you, but whenever there's a new stamper, I like them to know. And it's going to be a top fold card. The next layer is from the hand-penned designer series paper. And I can find really quickly what page that's on because I can look at my book here. Page 105 is where you'll find this paper. And the stamp set and everything that goes with it is a suite, and so you'll be able to find that there. I cut this 4 1/4 by 5.5 because I want it to cover the entire front of the card, and whichever way you want those scallops to go is up to you. I made mine go with the scallops facing up, and I'm just going to attach that flat to the front of the card. If I can get my tape to work, there we go. Using the stamp and seal, and we're just going to attach that flat right to the front of the card. Things are sticking to me here. Okay, I'm going to match that little corner and work it up and match that, and then everything just falls right into place. So there's the card front. Now, the next piece is, the next layer is these beautiful little scallops. Let me bring in the finished card so you can see. These beautiful scallops are made with the die that's in the set, and I have it right here, this scallop die. It adds the scallops and the stitching. And I'm going to show you how I did this and got these so nicely even. I used some grid paper, and I put some washi tape on the die, and rather than just one piece in the middle, because it has a tendency to still want to do this, I put one at each end so that it'll be more stable. I cut Whisper White, there we go, I still say that after 12 years of Whisper White, basic white, and I cut this 5.5 because I want it the full width of the card by 1 1/8 inches, okay, because I wanted the finished piece to be as close to 1 inch wide as I could get it. Now I'm going to bring in my Tombow removable adhesive, and I'm going to put a small bit of it on there, on my little grid paper. This grid paper is sold in the catalog, and it comes cut this size to fit the Stamparatus, but it comes in really handy when you just need a small piece of work surface as well. And I put that on there to hold this piece in place, and I am lining it up with that dark line so I know that this piece is straight. Okay, now I'm going to put this on here, and in order for this to be as close to this edge as I can get it, if I line this end up with that 1/2 inch mark, well, yeah, there's 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch from the edge, then I can put that in place. And then on this end, I can do the same and line that tip up with that 1/2 inch mark and put it in place, and then die cut it out. And I did that for both pieces, and they came out just perfectly the same. As you can see, they just line up perfectly. So that gives them the same width, and they were a width that worked for me, as you can see on the card. So these go on next. Now the top one, you don't have to worry about anything going underneath it, but they're attached with dimensionals. And so I'm going to put a dimensional on each of the scallops here. I want it really well supported. And I think if you had like the strips, you could put a strip along this edge and it would give it really good support. But instead, I'm just going to add a couple more dimensionals up here along this edge. And it probably seems like a lot. That's kind of up to you. I felt like it needed that. So, and sometimes the paper doesn't want to cooperate. There we go. So that's going to go on the top, and I'm going to put it on just like that. So there's the top. So it's raised up a little bit. So it's going to make this look like a little window in here or whatever. And I just love that raised look. It just looks so cute. Okay, now this one's the same, but on this one, as you can see, there's some stems that are going to have to tuck in behind. So I don't want to put dimensionals in the way of those stems. So it kind of gives you some idea of where to place those dimensionals and still get the support that it might need. And so I'm going to put one definitely down here in this corner, and one there. And on the other end, I can do the same. I don't have to worry about getting too close to that end. So let's do that. And then looks like I had a stem that needs to go down through this one, at least part of the way. So I'm going to not put a dimensional there, and I'll put it down below. And then I can put a dimensional here kind of in the middle. And then I've got another stem that's probably going to want to come down through there. So I'm going to go like that. And so it's just a matter of kind of figuring it out. And it just gives it enough support. And then we'll attach that to the card front as well. So there's our two little lovely scalloped pieces. They're just, it's already cute. Okay, now the stems use this design right here, and they used the die cut that cuts this out, and it was stamped with Mossy Meadow. And we need 3 of them. And so I just stamped it and die cut them out, but we're not going to use the flower part. We're going to cut some of that away because the flowers that we are going to stamp are going to cover it up. And so I just want a little bit left behind. So what I did is I came in and I cut this away here. And then I cut a bunch of this away because I don't need it. And I cut up next to the stem here so that I could keep part of the stem, and cut a part of that away. So I butchered the poor little thing, but this is all you need to attach your flower to. Okay, so let's get those together, and then I'll show you how we did the flowers. And basically just keeping enough to attach the flower to without it showing, without this showing behind it. Okay, so not a big deal, just super easy. Can't do it wrong. Well, I guess you could if you cut too much off, I don't know, but that's what it looks like. Okay, so we can use part of that stem. There we go. So those are ready to go. Now the flowers, there's two parts to them. Bring the stamp set in. There's a filler, and then there's an accent piece. And so we are using 6 different colors. For the purple flower, it is, background is the Highland Heather, accent is the Gorgeous Grape. For this flower, background is Petal Pink, accent is Calypso Coral. And for this one, background is Flirty Flamingo, accent is Magenta Madness. And we're just going to attach each of those flowers to the tops of these stems. Get some adhesive on each one. And we're just going to stick the flowers to them. Okay, so there's our flowers. Now we're going to dimensionalize the flowers. And so let's get those. And of course, on the back of them, you don't have to worry too much. Just get a couple of them there. For the stem, I didn't worry about doing the stem, but I did do the leaves. And what I did is I just took the edge of one of my dimensional pages there, and I cut a thin strip, take the paper off of one part of it, and then I just cut some pieces about that long. That will, I think that's probably about 3/8 to 1/2 inch long, and stuck them on the back of the stems. Oh, not the stems, the leaves, excuse me. Like that. Okay, now we're just going to tuck it down in here and try not to let it stick before I'm ready. Oops, forgot to take the paper off those. Helps if you do that. There we go. There's that one. Now we'll do the purple one. And I wasn't thinking, I'm going to want to overlap that a little bit. So I'm going to pull this up so I can overlap that flower. I'm going to move that over this way a little bit. And then I need a couple more pieces for those leaves. And it's going to get tucked in. I think that'll work. And I want it to come down and overlap just a little bit. And you can see I've got some stem sticking out underneath there. I'm just going to reach up in there with my scissors and trim it off. And there's that one. And then my last one here. And it's going to go up over the scallop just a little bit, so I don't want to get too close to the top with my dimensionals there. I want to stay a little bit lower, and then I need to cut a couple more thin strips. for the stems, for the leaves, I mean. There we go. And for this one, and that looks good. And this one's going to tuck in over here somewhere there. I made a spot for it right there. Just like that. I really like that. Okay, now the sentiment came, the tag for the sentiment comes from this set as well. It's just right here. It's just the smallest rectangle die right there. It's got cute little holes all the way around, which I need to push some chads out of. It didn't come out yet. I'll get those off of there. And I'm going to stamp a sentiment with Magenta Madness. And I wanted something besides what was in that set. I'm going for the thank you for everything. And it comes from the color, no, from thinking of you on your special day, excuse me. And I'm going to use that. It came from Inspired Thoughts. And that's on page 52 of your catalog. So thinking of you on your special day. Came from Inspired Thoughts. I'm going to put it on here with Magenta Madness. Just like that. If you notice that my sentiment is on my block diagonally, and that is because I have found that if I put my sentiments on this way, I don't have a tendency to use the block as my squaring. I use this and the piece I'm stamping on, and I have a tendency to stamp square, more square, straight than when I put it on the other way. So that's just me. You can give it a try, see if it works for you. Now this one I'm going to attach to the front with dimensionals. I'm going to put one right in the middle because it's going to overlap on those flowers, and they don't really need to have any adhesive on them. And I want it to be just a little bit taller than the flowers, so I am going to double my dimensional to a double layer. And I'm going to put it on here and press it down. And there is my Casing the Catalog card, almost finished. Then I'm going to bring in the In Color 2123 jewels. There are 2 sizes in the 5 new In Colors, and this uses quite a few of them, but as you can see, I made little clusters of jewels in the centers of those flowers. I'm pretty sure that's what they did in the catalog as well, and I'm using the smaller of the 2 sizes. It uses a lot of them, and so I don't know, I might have to, I've used quite a few of them already. I might have to bring in a bigger one just to spread out the, so I can get more in here. Yeah, that's going to work. So that puts some color in the center of that little flower, some bling. There's the one for the pink flower, and then for the little purple one, I'm going to have to order some more of these already. They're so cute. I'm using them up really fast. So I'm going to end up having to get some more. Such is the day. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and use that up. Finish filling up that one. And then for the orangey one, I got that color right here. I'll put a couple of big ones in, and then we'll use up the small ones around it so that it gets nice and full. And there we have it. All right, look at that. Got a little bit of bling in there and some bright summery colors, and woo, we're all set. Isn't that a lovely card? Easy to make, lots of fun. I love Casing the Catalog and showing you how I think they made them, and I hope you enjoyed it too. I do have a link to my online store in the description below, and I would love to have you shop with me. Thank you for stopping by.